The V-280 is coming. Get ready for the Army's new air assault aircraft. Bell Helicopter's V-280 Valor, an industrial aircraft now being flown by Army pilots as part of the ongoing competitive process by which the service will select the new future long-range attack aircraft, could soon replace the Army's Black Hawk helicopters. Flies faster than 300 knots. The pilot can see through walls like Wonder Woman's invisible jet. It can link targeting data, control nearby drones from the air and fire new generation weapons. It is designed to float and maneuver like a helicopter, with the ability to switch to high-speed airplane mode. This is Bell Helicopter's V-280 Valor, an industrial aircraft now being flown by Army pilots as part of an ongoing competitive process in which the service will select the new future long-range attack aircraft, a future aircraft it is intended to replace, and beyond, the Army's current Black Hawk helicopter. This is an extraordinary opportunity for the Army's experimental test pilot to fly a technology demonstrator developed under the Joint Multi-Role Technical Demonstrator Program, provided an early introduction to advanced rotorcraft technology that we might expect to see in the future Long-Range Attack Aircraft Record Program, BRIG. General Walter Rugen, director of the Future Vertical Lifting Cross-Functional Team. The Army's new helicopters, which could be Bell's V-280 or Sikorsky Boeing SB-1 Defiant offerings, were originally slated to appear in 2034 and have now been moved through to 2030 due to rapid advancements, technological advances and the Army's needs for a new platform to compete with modern threats. Majors Wesley Powelson and Adam Cowan were the pilots who flew the tiltrotor aircraft. Army pilots demonstrate current tactics, techniques and procedures. They bring realistic or recent combat experience, bring new material for future designs and add mission relevance. We wanted to give them a sense of acceleration, deceleration, speed and maneuverability. Don Grove, chief pilot for the Bell and V-280 Valor, told the National Interest in an interview. An Army statement said both Bell and Sikorsky received the competitive demonstration and risk reduction contract for a 2-year phase. FLRAA is on track to full-level production by 2030, David Hilton, who handles public affairs and strategic communications for the Executive Office Aviation Program, said in a statement. A key element of the acceleration, which has worked so far, is what Rugen calls the ability to raise speed with technology. This means that software and hardware configurations are being engineered to accommodate new weapons, sensors, computer systems, and machine technologies. We see a 4-year acceleration due to industrial investment. We love their work and want to maintain that momentum, Rugen explained to the National Interest in an interview earlier this year. The Bell offering uses an advanced sensor suite similar to what now powers the F-35 fighter jet, a series of 360-degree cameras that provide surveillance around it. For the Bell 280 volts, it is called the Pilotage Distributed Aperture System, DAS. Wearing specially configured goggles and a helmet system, pilots take advantage of 6 surrounding cameras designed to unify imagery, Grove said. This gives the crew the ability to constantly look in all directions in real time, and potentially detect enemy targets, incoming attacks, and other items of interest from all directions. The DAS system will also form the basis of small arms enemy fire detection technology, which will search for and locate signs of an incoming enemy attack. The sensors will be able to distinguish the location and heat signatures of enemy small arms fire, giving the aircraft the opportunity to strike quickly with its weapons, lowering the risk of injury to pilots. CRIWA other intended attributes include the ability to carry out unmanned flight missions, extending the target network and range for onboard sensors, operating in so-called high heat conditions such as 6,000 feet and 95 degrees Fahrenheit where thinner air makes maneuvers possible. Helicopter. Much more difficult. While there is no formal stealth designation, the V-280's mixed fuselage and gradually tilted forward end give the aircraft a slightly reduced radar signature appearance. Also, while ceasing to offer any design specifications, Rugen generally explained that it was important for the new generation of aircraft to operate successfully amidst radar chaos, and of course remain as undetectable as possible. You get the best from helicopters and the best from turboprops. No helicopter can accelerate like the V-280, Grove said. The expanded combat radius will allow the aircraft to operate more easily on a single mission without the need for forward arming and refueling points, or FARPs. We want the ability to operate aircraft, conduct close airstrikes and show up in places where the enemy doesn't expect us, Rugan said in an interview with the National Interest. Bell selects Rolls-Royce engine for V280 Courage in Army Black Hawk replacement contest. This move dramatically increases the V280's horsepower over the General Electric engines it uses today. Bell plans to install Rolls-Royce's version of the V-22 Osprey engine in the V280 Valor, the plane that the U.S. Army is competing to replace the venerable Black Hawk helicopter. The decision to swap the General Electric engine used in today's V280 prototype for a more powerful engine made by Rolls-Royce was revealed by Bell and Rolls-Royce North America CEOs during Defense One Global Business Briefing on Thursday. Using the engine version of the Osprey, they say, will lower long-term maintenance costs. In history, we know how much it costs and we know how to take the costs out of sustainability, said Tom Bell, President of Rolls-Royce Defense and Chairman and CEO of Rolls-Royce North America. The company plans to formally announce the new V280 engine pack at the U.S. Army Association's annual conference in Washington next week. The new engine will be named the 1107F. The Osprey engine is the 1107C, part of Rolls-Royce's A engine family, Bell said. Rolls-Royce has delivered more than 7,000 engines in its A family, Bell said. The machines had more than 82 million flight hours. Bell's V280 Valor competes with the SB-1 Defiant, a compound helicopter developed jointly by Sikorsky and Boeing Lockheed Martin. The Army's project to replace its Black Hawk is known as the Future Long-Range Assault Aircraft, or FLRAA. The current Bell V280 prototype is powered by the General Electric T-64, the turboshaft engine used for decades in early models of the Sikorsky H-53 heavy-lift helicopter. The Rolls-Royce engine produces 7,000 shaft horsepower compared to the T-64, which is rated at 5,000 shaft horsepower. Like the Osprey, which Bell built with Boeing, the V280 is a tiltrotor aircraft that takes off and lands vertically like a helicopter, but can rotate its propeller forward for fast flight like a fixed-wing aircraft. But unlike the Osprey, the engine, mounted on the wingtip, doesn't spin on the V280, just the strut itself. Having the engine fixed is expected to lower maintenance costs as well as allow soldiers to use the V280's sliding side doors. One of the brilliant things the Bell team did was, they designed the V280 so that the whole nacelle didn't rotate, but just the support, said Bell. Integrating it with our 1107F will create a cleaner, even more sustainable approach to V280 power generation.